in Patrick Mahomes' career in which he had to play on the road. So that alone right there was a huge stumbling block, or a huge task that needed to be accomplished for Patrick Mahomes. The Bills jumped out to an early lead, and Kansas City had to play from behind in the fourth quarter to win this game, and actually had to rely on their defense. And if you watched our live show, our Instagram live show on Friday, you heard that both Dre and I both picked the Buffalo Bills to actually win this game, because I had concerns for Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City's offense and their ability to get into a rhythm and to move the ball downfield against this Buffalo Bills defense that has been playing phenomenal and has started to peak at the right time. And I had concerns about whether the defense of Kansas City would be able to get enough stops against this Buffalo offense, which has been quite explosive due to Josh Allen's ability to protect the ball and not put the ball in harm's way. And this game was primed for Buffalo to win this game, quite frankly. And this game was we don't know what would have happened if Kansas City would have had the ball in that last possession. But listen, Buffalo is set up to kick a 44-yard field goal, tie up the game with a minute left. And Buffalo's kicker misses the field goal. And that allowed Kansas City to run out the clock and win the game. And it was unfortunate because this was such an exciting game, as it always is when Buffalo and Kansas City matches up in the playoffs. This could be the modern version of Brady versus Peyton Manning. I'm not ready to say that yet in terms of Mahomes and Josh Allen matchup, but there's definitely a rivalry that's been established between these two guys, between these two teams, I might say. And it's unfortunate that a great game comes down to a kicker that misses the field goal. And I feel like it's unfortunate, but also that's part of the game. This is part of the game, because there were countless opportunities that Buffalo had to convert on third down, to score in the red zone, in which if they do those things, they're not in a position to where they have to rely on their kicker. And that concept is akin to what I say when we cover basketball games, where if you have to rely on the ref to make one call in the waning moments of a game, then that's your fault as a team, as a player. You put yourself in that position to where you have to rely on one call. The games aren't decided by one call, by one possession. At the end of the game, normally games are decided early on. Once you start to understand how sports truly operate and how the game truly progresses over time and over the course of a game, you understand that. And same thing with this situation right here. It comes down to the kick, but the game was decided much earlier on. The Buffalo's defense gave up numerous big plays, chunk plays to Kelsey and to Valdez-Scantling, things that they hadn't done in previous weeks. They did not do a good job of generating pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Between both teams, there's only one punt throughout the entire night. So, if you're Buffalo's defense, you look at the inability to get stops and to score in the red zone. And I had something I talked about during the preview show, our NFL preview show early on in the season, was how I feel like Buffalo's championship window has closed. And I didn't even have Buffalo making the playoffs this season. And they got hot at the right time, and they managed to win the division. But this loss all but solidifies what I said early on in the year, before the season even started, and that their championship window is closed. Then Now you have to start thinking about what direction you want to go in. If you're Buffalo, do you want to trade away pieces and rebuild, or what other options do you have? And those are things you have to consider if you're Buffalo, because your championship window has closed. This is your prime opportunity. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted all along. You wanted a home game against the best quarterback in the league, in Patrick Mahomes. You wanted to play them in your house, in your weather, under your conditions, and you got that. And you were in position to win. You were in position to put the game away countless times, but you did it. And if you're Kansas City, you have all the confidence in the world now, because now you've shown the world what they haven't had to do, but they are able to do, and that's win on the road. They've been so dominant that they haven't had to play a playoff game on the road since Patrick Mahomes has been a starting quarterback. But when they're put in that situation in which they have to, they're able to do it. And so now they go into Baltimore with all the confidence in the world, like I said. And this was a great win. Like I said before the playoffs started, that if Kansas City manages to make it to the Super Bowl, let alone win the Super Bowl, this run, this group of guys that Mahomes is playing with will be similar to when LeBron James took that Cleveland Cavaliers team to the 2018 finals. I know LeBron and the Cavs that year didn't win the finals, but if Mahomes can get Kansas City to the Super Bowl, that's what this will remind me of, when LeBron James took that 2018 Cavaliers team to the NBA Finals. All in all, though, it was an exciting game. In my opinion, this is the most exciting game of the night, or of the division round matchup. My apologies. And it just shows which direction both teams are going in. One's going home to think about rebuilding. Well, they will have to rebuild because the window's closed. And the other team continues to fight on and continues to prove that they are a dynasty. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Share your thoughts in the chat room. I'd love to hear all about it, guys. In our next segment, though, we are going to be discussing the other AFC division round matchup between the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. So be sure to stick around for that, guys. You're not going to miss it. We'll be right back.